Welcome back, everyone, to part two. Where the fuck is Zeke?
Hey.
Where's Zeke?
Hi, Zeke. I think Zeke's behind Shroud, maybe?
You might be right. Yeah, let me fix this. There we go. There he is.
Guys,
He appeared.
guys, I'm scared.
He appeared.
What's
Sorry
going
about
on?
that.
I'm frightened.
Sorry about that.
Alone.
I'll have to fix the other overlay as well. It's tricky. You guys don't care. Anyways, welcome, Shroud, to the show. Glad to have you here. Hopefully, it's not too early for you. Is this normal? Is this normal time for you, or is your schedule just completely fucked?
No. This is normal. I mean, it's not even, it's 11:40. I usually start my stream at like 10:30. So
Okay.
I was just chilling.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for coming on the show. I think we're just gonna throw a bunch of different questions at you, and probably the first one is, how'd you get started streaming? Because it's a lot of people. I think most people know that obviously you're huge now with Battle Royale and PUBG and Fortnite and all that stuff. But even when you were kind of more of a professional Counter-Strike player, you were still a big streamer back in those days, right?
Yeah. So like, even before I was professional Counter-Strike, I mean, it only happened because I was streaming, right?
Right.
And I was reaching a decent audience through Counter-Strike, and then I realized I was really good, and I was like, all right, let's go pro.
Yeah. What was that that transition? Was it like an overnight one? Was it like, hey, I'm actually doing okay here, and
No,
tournaments are tough?
it was-
How'd that work out?
It definitely wasn't overnight, right? Because I was basically streaming Counter-Strike a lot. That was my main game. Because I get stuck up on games, right? You see me playing PUBG all the time. Before it was Counter-Strike. Whenever I find that game that I really like, I get stuck up on it for a very, very long time. So when I was playing Counter-Strike, I was just enjoying the game. And I was playing in like, just like regular divisions, just like casually playing, competing in like these league matches. And then eventually I guess I got good enough, and I got noticed to join like a semi-pro team, and I just kept like climbing the ladder. I kept climbing, and then I ended up in Cloud9, and I'm still in Cloud9.
How old were you when you joined Cloud9? Do you remember?
I think I was 18 or 19. I think I was 19.
Okay. Is that the only team you've ever been a part of in that capacity in terms of like professional level?
Yeah, there was like Exertus, but that didn't really count, right? That's like that was like the semi-pro team that I joined. Like they weren't really big or anything, but so yeah, Cloud9 was like the only contract that I've ever signed, basically.
Right. Now I do want to mention, I don't know how familiar you are with Co and Zeke, but their esports is in another realm for them. They're not esports people whatsoever. I'm probably the only one with loose ties here to esports at all. So I only have a couple more questions in that regard, and then we'll kind of jump to the idea of streaming and Twitch and all that stuff. I do have to ask, especially I was talking with Scoots, big CS guy who's currently at the house for some show stuff we're doing this weekend. But was it bittersweet when Cloud9 won the major recently? Was that kind of just like, hey, good job, guys? I'm not on the team.
No, it was.
I wasn't there.
It was incredible. Like
Okay.
I wasn't. I was not upset. I was not jealous. I wasn't any of that. Like I was on the couch with my friends. We were all watching the game. We were all just cheering. We were all literally tears were coming out when Tyler Skadoodle was doing that interview, right?
Yeah.
Because like I've been on a team with Tyler for like 3 years almost. It was almost 3 years. Like we've been good friends for a very long time, and we played in so many majors together. And every single time we went out in groups, he never got out of groups. So to see him finally get out of groups and then win the whole thing, and on top of that be MVP, like it was incredible. It was incredible.
For reference, Zeke and Code, the Boston Major, the Cloud9 won, and they're the first. And Shroud, feel free to correct me because I'm a little rusty in my esports knowledge. They're the first North American team to have ever won a major in Counter-Strike, which is also the same event that broke Twitch's all-time record for a single channel with 1 million plus viewers on it. So it was a pretty big fucking deal for Twitch, for esports, for North American esports, etc. It was
such a big deal, even I knew about it.
There you go. In the world of esports.
Dude, I remember seeing, Twitter for like 2 hours was insane.
Yeah.
Like every single person that even knows what the term esports mean was like, Cloud9, they did it. Yeah, this is awesome. Like it was pretty wild. It was pretty wild. That was good.
Yeah. It was definitely a weird thing to see because people that have no, like you said, have no relationship to esports is like, hey, that's Good job, North America. Good job. And then, for whatever reason, they've always just, Shroud could speak to this, but North America's always just been a little bit behind in recent years, and potentially even for the history of CS in terms of tournaments and whatnot. So cool stuff.
Is there a particular country that just dominates?
For Counter-Strike, it's a lot of like Europeans, right? I mean, most recently, it's been SK Gaming, and SK Gaming's from Brazil, and they're the #1 team. But besides that, every other really top tier team is somewhere from Europe. You know, Sweden, Denmark, France, just all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Shroud, what do you attribute that to? Is that practice regiment? Is it just better players over there breeding a better player base?
Yeah, that's
just natural selection.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's kind of like that. That has something to do with it, right? On top of always playing against better players and always being able to practice against better players.
Yeah.
You know, they just have so much more competition to play against, so much more ability to learn. When NA players are constantly playing against NA players, I mean, you learn, but it's a lot slower, right?
Yeah.
Jesus, did you just kill that guy?
There's going to be a lot of that, I'm sure. So let's talk about that. Yeah, this transition to streaming. What do you? I'm curious what you personally credit your success to in terms of this whole streaming thing. Was it the idea? Well, I won't even put ideas in your head. Go ahead. What do you credit all this to? Because you kind of just blew up overnight, almost. You went from the 5 to 10,000 to like 30 to 50,000 viewers is normal now.
Yeah, so like when I was competing in Counter-Strike and I was streaming Counter-Strike, I was getting good views, 10, 15,000 views, like around there. The views were there, right? What was weird is like the subs wasn't the same as it is now. So it was like what, 6-7 months ago now, not even that long ago, right? And I had I was floating around 3,000 subscribers, and that was like my all-time high, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I just announced that I was done competing, and for whatever reason, people felt like now is a good time to support me, because when I was competing in esports and all that, I was kind of doing kind of like 2 jobs, right? Streaming was like on the side, and I was constantly traveling. I'd be gone for months at a time.
Yeah.
So maybe the second, like, they really wanted to support me, but they couldn't, they couldn't do it while I was traveling and all that. So they just waited, they held off. And then everybody just like all hit me at the same time. I don't know. I really don't know what happened.
Yeah. It was, I feel like yourself and a handful of other streamers, a bunch of other streamers, honestly, kind of grew as PUBG continued to grow and as Twitch was growing at the same time. And it was this weird, like perfect mix of just people are going to have gigantic fucking numbers. And that's become like a crazy thing on Twitch.
Dr. Disrespect, Shroud, Ninja.
Yeah.
Like these guys came out of nowhere and have just skyrocketed. Shroud, out of curiosity, you just mentioned a second ago that you had 3,000 subs, and at the time that was high and crazy for you. If you don't want to talk about that, that's fine. But aren't you at like 24 or something now? 24K or something?
I'm at 27.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's about 9.
So you're like
9 times.
So if 3K was insane, you're like 10x insane now. You're just like in an asylum at this point. Like you're done.
Yeah. Like it's not even real right now. I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
That's so amazing, dude.
Yeah, it was crazy because it all happened in like one day. It was just the first day that I announced that it was happening. I think I got like 5,000 subscribers. It was insane in that one day.
Yeah.
Congrats again, man. It's incredible.
Totally. I'm curious. One of the things that I saw that has been kind of taboo, to use the word that could, it's been a little taboo among other streamers, is they've always kind of hidden their sub count, right? Like sub counts is kind of like asking people in America, like, hey, how much money do you make? Right?
Yeah.
People just weren't that open with sharing it. And then, you go over to your stream, and a lot of times you're literally just sitting there with your dashboard as like the main screen, and people can see the sub count. Do you think that goads people into like subbing in the first place? Is there a psychological element to that? Have you put any thought to that, where people are like, hey, let's make that number higher? That number could be 30,000.
I seriously think that's partially the reason why I got to 35,000 subscribers. I feel like that's partially the reason why Ninja is about to hit, I think, 40,000 subscribers.
Jeez.
Like people want to hit that goal. They want to be a part of it, right? So like when I was getting to 30K, I got closer and closer, and then it's almost seemed like I got to like 20 to 28 took a decent bit, and then 28 to 30 just happened immediately because I don't know, people just want to be a part of that. They want to experience that with you. So yeah, I mean, I think that definitely helps. I don't know how it's going to help in the long run, but when you're trying to go for those goals, they're going to be a part of it, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny you say that, JP, because in a lot of ways, I'd almost think it would work the opposite a lot of times.
Right.
Where,
That's the weird thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Where if you see someone is making, X tens of thousands of dollars a month, you would think that they would be like, oh, maybe they don't need my $5 because, they're living my dream.
Well,
but at the same
It's
time,
funny that you say that because one of your top clips that I watched was you getting over 1 million on YouTube, and then people were unsubscribing. And it went over 1 million, and then people started unsubscribing from YouTube and went back down below 1 million.
Yeah, and then it went back up. They're just trolls. Like the internet, just a bunch of trolls. And
sure,
I mean, with Twitch Prime and all that happening, like that plays a very, very big part. Like I would say 90% of people's subscribers now, at least mine, is all Twitch Prime.
There's a lot for sure. Yeah, I think one of the most, and I've seen this kind of actually happen more in the past month than I have since the Twitch Prime came out almost 2 years ago or 2 years ago. I guess how long it's been out. It's this idea of saying, hey, chat, there's a lot of you that that probably have a Twitch Prime sub open right now. And I see so many people like joking about that on streamers, and then you just see like a massive influx of Twitch Prime users. I think it's a crazy effect that almost works every single time a streamer mentions it, no matter what the viewership is.
I just got a Twitch Prime right now.
Someone exactly.
Well,
someone just did it.
Yeah, it's crazy how it works.
About that though, JP, it's kind of crazy because a lot of people still have no idea that it even exists.
Yeah.
Like I basically have like a little thing that I say, right? Like, look above the top right of the screen, your token might be up. If you attach your, and I say that, and every single time, almost every single time, someone in chat is like, wait, I get a free sub with Amazon Prime? I already have that.
Or it's like, oh, fuck, I forgot. It's been a month. That's what I see a lot of times, yeah.
It's kind of interesting because it really makes you understand that Twitch is doing a very poor job at getting people to spend their Twitch Prime subs. If a streamer can say that, and every time they do, the person with the Prime sub doesn't know that it's up. B, they don't know they can use it. And C, many of them don't even know it exists anymore.
Well, here's the thing with that. My spiel is #fuck Twitch because that's on purpose. They lose money. They lose money with this. If you forget a Prime sub, then it's like, hey, we're not losing money this month from that person.
That's
from that Prime sub.
True, but following that line of logic, we never have a Prime program.
I know, but it's great to say because you can just be like, hey guys, remember, fuck Twitch, and then you just get a bunch of Twitch Prime subs. It's great.
And same for me as well. Whenever I mention it, but if you don't use it, you're just leaving money on the table. Like you're just leaving free money. If you already have a Prime subscription, which it's a godsend for if you want to buy shit and have it sent to your fucking house immediately. Use it. It's free for you to if you forget about it. Because I like it when I get reminded by streamers because I do forget because I'm one of those guys who transfers my Prime sub from like a streamer that I'm just starting to watch and like and stuff before I give them like a full like auto renew subscription. I'll do a Prime subscription to let them know, hey, I'm watching, I like it, that kind of shit.
Yeah. But before we turn this into a huge Twitch Prime ad, I'm just going to cut that conversation. But I do want to ask, like, Shroud, you mentioned you were at 35K, now back at 27. One of the biggest fears, I think, for a lot of streamers is, this instability of Twitch, and with Twitch Prime, especially someone who, like you said, has 90% of his subs from Twitch Prime. Is that a fear? Do you still have the fear of like, oh man, like, this could all very well go away very soon if people just lose interest or stop using Twitch Primes, etc. Like, is there a fear there at all?
I mean, yes and no, I guess, right? Like the number is, the number is so big, right? The number is so big that
a lot of padding,
a
lot of cushion,
exactly. You got a lot of cushion, so like. sure, I'm down 10K from what I was last month, but yeah, like there's just a lot of cushion. Like you're gonna be all right. I don't take that to heart. I know there might be some streamers that like get mentally affected by it, but I'm one that doesn't really get triggered by chat. I don't get triggered at all, really. Sometimes I get mad because I'm competitive, right?
Totally.
But like that's I mean that's not gonna happen. It's not. I'm not very scared of it. Even if even if it drops back down to what it was at 3,000 subs, like that's
Still comfortable.
That's still revenue, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. It's actually JP was kind of telling what Shroud said earlier, because he said I used to have 3K subs and that was insane. And
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
if you have that kind of rooted perspective,
Totally.
like everything over that is just icing. And at
Yeah.
this point, you know, it's like this much cake and that much icing. And it's like you can get back down to like here and it's still a delicious cake.
You're still swimming in it, Scrooge.
So, yeah, absolutely. It's good to be grounded in that respect, because I can tell you right now, there's a lot of streamers that have around those many subs, and you can tell when they talk about it on air, it stresses them out thinking about it going down.
Totally.
And it's funny because if you think about it, that stress is so arbitrary. The only reason it stresses them out is because it's not progress. It doesn't click for them that it's like you're already so insanely ahead of anywhere you'd even need to be that you could lose half your subs and still be incredible.
Yeah.
But it's like just because they lose a little bit that month, yeah, my sub numbers are down this month. You know, I've been having some sleep issues. You got 24,000 subs, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, and you see that
like
a lot.
a baby every single night.
You definitely see that a lot on any range of subs. You can see when a broadcaster feels that pressure because of how they. I mean, I think all four of us, in some regard, have done that where it's kind of like, ah, fuck, oh well, or ah, fuck, hey guys, don't forget your Twitch Prime. Anyways, there's definitely some tells. Yeah, there's definitely some tells on the stream. And I think Shroud,
it's a matter of percentages. It's
sure.
I think it'll all line up if you put it on a graph, and you said someone with 50 subs and someone with 50,000 subs, you'd see the same percentage. Like I bet of like dips, peaks, and valleys and stuff like that.
Sure.
Once you find once you have your comfortable level of subs, like I have a fraction of that, but I stay like I can count on the steadiness of my subscribers. Like I'll go up and down, but you know I can count on a certain amount to to stick around.
Yeah. Shroud, I'm curious, before, pro CS and before streaming was kind of the main source of income, did you have a job? Did you do retail? Did you work fast food, anything like that as a kid?
Well, so I got into streaming honestly pretty young, right? Like I started streaming I think when I was 17, but that didn't really count because I streamed for a full year.
Yeah.
With 0 to 3 viewers. Those 3 being my like my mom or like friends.
Or
right?
you on another account, or you on another monitor.
Back then it always counted yourself as well, so you always had one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did that for a year, but before that, I mean, I did a couple jobs like working in like an assembly line and like a factory type deal, like just because I needed to. I needed some money.
Yeah.
And it was terrible. It was terrible.
Well,
I mean,
it seems like it kept you grounded though, right? Because I think a lot of people when they, I know the first month of when I was like doing well on Twitch, it was like, oh shit, there's a lot of stuff that I could just like buy right now, and it's not going to impact me that much. And I think some people would be like the pure impulse of that, like I could buy a $200,000 car right now, and I'd be okay with it, and I could go get a house a month later and probably still be okay with that. But you seem responsible in that sense. You're not going fucking stir crazy from what I can tell.
Not only that, JP, but he's one of those people. I mean, the worst are those people that never actually work a real job.
That's me. Yeah. But I mean,
you're just the worst.
Yeah, I never worked an assembly line, but I did grunt work for Gotfrag, and that shit was even worse because it's just fucking it's just stupid, awful 30 plus hours of entering CS scores for things you don't care about. It's not the worst job, but it's still it's still meaningless in that regard.
I mean, I was pretty like fortunate in that sense because I mean I didn't do it for long. My parents definitely spoiled me. So my dad was a gamer, so he got me everything. That's how I got into gaming, right? So I was spoiled on the computer side, so I didn't have to spend a lot of money for that. it was just for, you know, whatever I wanted to do, just for fun activities and whatnot. That's what I needed the money for.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I have a question as far as
Giving me what is going on there?
He's swapping.
Oh, you're
between
switching.
spectators.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
what
but-
am I watching you do? Is
He's
this-
actually that good. He's playing both people at once. It's actually.
I know,
happening.
right? Yeah, sometimes I get bored and I like to play 2 games at once. I'm actually on 2 different computers, just one mouse each hand. What?
Exactly. Zeke, what were you gonna ask?
I was just gonna ask, like, what percentage would you say is to get good in the vernacular? What percentage is practice, and what percentage is just kind of having talent for it?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I would say most people with practice can do it, but it's not like, I mean, it's not like you're just born to be a gamer, right? It's more like if you were playing games as a kid, right? If you were like, you know, 10 years old and you were gaming a whole bunch, you're going to be much better than someone that just started gaming when they were 18. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean the person that's 18 years old can't do it and be as good. It's just going to take them a lot longer. So I can't really like judge the numbers. I don't really know, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of how that works, right?
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah, no, I
rarely-
was honestly, like, I was asking just like, what is your opinion of yourself? Like, how much talent and how much practice? Like, I know everybody practice is always better than talent
Well,
because
here,
yeah.
just
you know.
just have him do this. Shroud, open up Steam. How many hours do you have in CS?
global offensive or like everything combined.
Let's combine them. Let's do 1.6 in CS:GO. Because it's probably going to be an astronomical number.
It's okay. So it's like these Counter-Strike hours. 1.6 isn't accurate because it says about 1,000. But in total, probably about 10,000 is
Yeah.
what Steam is telling me.
10,000
I
hours.
would think it's more. I would think it's more from my childhood because of different Steam accounts and all that back then. You know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, so the new one that came out, 4 years ago, is about 8,000 hours.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it takes time. It's not something that you don't just click and you're fucking just destroying everyone. The amount of time and it's just like anything else. To be really good at something, you got to do it a shit ton.
Yeah, being good at like esports and all that is I mean, it's so much more than just practice and natural like talent. There's so much more, like your attitude plays a very, very big part. There's actually some politics to it as well. Like in Counter-Strike, especially, I'm not familiar with like League and Dota and whatnot. I'm just familiar with Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
There is some politics to like competing at a high level. It's very, very difficult to be that new guy to come in and replace someone that's already been there. In Counter-Strike, they like to recycle a lot of players. Just recently, they've been picking up like new blood. Just recently, they've been taking chances.
Yeah.
But 2 years ago, it was just everyone was just getting recycled.
What do you say to the kid that is 15 right now, and then he's like, "Hey, I want to be a professional Overwatch, Dota, League, whatever his game of choice is." What do you say to that person?
What I always tell, because I get this question a lot on my stream. What I always tell them is basically don't quit whatever you're doing. Don't drop out of school if you have a job that depending. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you're 25, if you could pull it off at any age. Because like I've seen it done, but don't quit what you're doing, right? Because it's just not worth it. It's a very, very, very high risk. It's not, it's like the 1%. You just got to be realistic, right?
It's the 1% of the 1%, right? Like, it's even crazier. Yeah. Go ahead.
Another thing for esport kids is they have 2 different things they have to worry about. Because here's the thing, unlike a lot of people, if you stream, you turn your stream on, you're entertaining, that's great. People love you. Hopefully you get discovered. That's awesome. But with an esporter, you got to think it's a 2-way street. First, you have to get good enough to even compete. And that's going to take thousands and thousands of hours. And you can do that entire thing, spending thousands of hours getting good, but then no one will ever see you. Yeah. So it's like, it's almost twice as hard, because even if you do spend all the time to get good enough to participate, you lose one tournament or you don't make one qualifier, and all those hours, if you don't get discovered, are just kind of like gone.
Well, that's
one bad showing could be your demise. Like that's it.
It brings up
a little bit different from streaming, because you can, with streaming, you have a bad day, you have a bad week, whatever, you just keep going. But with something like that, man,
well, that brings up a point. Like, how much do you think Shroud streaming has opened up doors for people that wouldn't have those doors opened up to begin with on teams where, someone watches a streamer play whatever game they're looking for, and they own a team, and they're like, hey, that guy's pretty good, and he's actually got some viewership and sponsors like numbers, so maybe we should pick that person up. Do you think that's a real thing?
No, yeah, definitely. With Twitch, because Counter-Strike competitions and esports has been around for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
So the only reason I went pro is simply because of Twitch. If I wasn't streaming, who knows? I might have never gotten noticed. Like, it plays a very, very big impact, and that definitely does happen. There might still be people on teams, or people are getting picked up to teams simply because of their numbers. Obviously they have to be good at the game, but it's like kind of 50-50 there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk PUBG a little bit, because that game's, we don't talk about it too much on here. At least we played it, I think, when everyone was playing it back when the game was not arguably bigger, but when it first came out is the best way to say it. We were playing a lot of it.
Extremely hype.
Yeah.
I got a quick question for Shroud, real quick, since we're on PUBG.
Yeah.
This is like the first time we've been able to ask this. Shroud, what do you think about the new map? What are the thoughts?
Yeah,
Better
let's
or
talk about
worse?
that.
Like, what's the whole skinny on the new map?
I mean, so when it first came out, it was great. Of course, any map's going to come out and everyone's going to be like, yes, new map, it's so great. It doesn't matter. Like, it's really hard to test a new map. So, like, you have to put hundreds of hours. Now that people have put hundreds of hours into this new map, it is just way too big for 100 people. There's not enough vehicles, so you're just running around all the time. And the terrain makes it very, very, very awkward to have gunfights. And on top of that, they just threw everything they possibly can in every single city. Cars, grass, giant buildings that you can't go into, parking lot filled with like 60 cars instead of just like 10. So it's just crazy. There's so much to look at. You're looking at broken glass, you're looking at trash, you're looking at dumps. It's so many things.
Yeah.
Too many things. But it looked great at first, and it does look great from a viewer perspective, but it doesn't play well. But I always tell my viewers that you can't really test that. It's so hard to test a battle royale map. You can't just get 100 like pro or streamer players, right? You can't just throw them in and let them play 5-10 times and there you go, you tested the map. No, you got to test it thousands of times, right? And you just can't do that. It's not realistic. Which is why I'll never see battle royale games as like an esport kind of thing.
That makes sense. This is maybe going to pull away a little bit from the battlegrounds. We'll come back to it. But do you worry sometimes saying things like you just did, or even being more critical of a game when you have as many viewers, and especially people that kind of parrot what streamers are saying, that they'll take what you said and then go use it against the devs on like Twitter or anything like that? Do you worry about that type of feedback from your community or communities at large?
No, not really, honestly. I don't know. I mean, I think about it every now and then, and maybe I shouldn't have said some of those things, but I don't think it's that big a deal, right?
Yeah. No, I'm not like saying, hey man, you should really care.
Yeah,
I'm literally just interested. Yeah, because you got someone like Dr. Disrespect who kind of plays into that entire thing to begin with, right?
Yeah, I don't like roasting a game like every single day, right? That's
right. Yeah, kind of feeds the negativity a little bit.
Yeah.
This is probably like one of the first times I've actually seen more than 5 minutes of the new map. So it's too big. That's probably the biggest complaint, or at least the first one you said.
Yeah. So it's okay. So it's the same size as their old map, but their old map is filled with a lot of water, like a lot. And you can't go there, right? You're not going to. Why are you going to get a boat and go in the middle of nowhere? You're not. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
So most of their map is water. That's what makes it seem smaller, but they're the same size, right? And in this map, it's also very, very bumpy. There's a lot of hills, so you can't get around as fast. So when you get a car, you can't, like on the old map, you're just going a straight line. You're flying. You're going super fast. Here, you're constantly slowing down, so you could never get anywhere in time.
Yeah. What would you say are like some of the biggest issues with PUBG in general? Not necessarily the map, but just like if you had Brendan in front of you, and you're just like, hey, I think these things are currently wrong right now with the game. Granted, he might not be the person that handles all this stuff on the day-to-day basis, but
Yeah.
if you had a developer of the game, what do you say?
I mean, honestly, there's a lot of things wrong, right? It's very, very, very far from done, even though they got out of early access. Like you could probably just go on and on about it, but I would say the big one and the biggest one to everybody is just their servers and their net code, right? I always give them like the benefit of the doubt a little bit here because it's very difficult to make 100-player games happening with very, very good registry and very good net code and all that. Like that's not easy.
It's
Like
insane, yeah.
there's probably a reason why games like Battlefield, for example, only do 64 players, right? And even then, those guys don't have the greatest servers, right? It's just super hard to do, but a lot of people just can't. I mean, they can't really get over that. So that I don't know, they just automatically hate them for that. So I always give them the benefit of the doubt. But if I was to change anything, I would, just keep pushing improvements to that.
To the netcode and server stability and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, all because I mean they just have so many players and all that. So it's very important. But yeah, besides that, it sucks because a lot of people are saying it gets kind of stale, right? But yeah, it's not Fortnite. You're not constantly building. You're not constantly jumping around. It's never going to be like that. I mean, this is how the game is, and yeah, it will get stale to some people. But if you really, really like it, like I do, it's probably never going to get stale. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how it's gonna where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
In like a year.
Well, we'll bring it up. I mean, you said the F word, Fortnite. I think is kind of this weird. It did kind of what I'm trying to think of a comparison in other games, and maybe there is no comparison, but now you've got these two camps, right? You've got PUBG in one hand and you got Fortnite in the other hand, and now the communities, for whatever reason, tend to throw bullshit at each other and kind of just sling shit back and forth. You've played both. Is PUBG your preference, or are they two different that you can't really have a preference? You could just say, hey, I'm going to play this today.
Yeah, it's extremely hard to have a preference because they really are. For some reason, everyone compares them and they're like, yeah, Battle Royale, same game. No, they're two very, very, very different games. Extremely different. So I don't know why people keep comparing these two games. They're comparing it like it's League and Dota. Like those games they're similar, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But are they really that similar? Like, are they really that similar?
Right.
It's like that's what goes on between. It's weird. I don't know. They're not the same to me.
Would you say that it takes a different skill set?
You watch either of them for 5 minutes and you can tell that. I mean, like in one, in PUBG, you're running around looting and kind of it's more just based on the FPS stuff. Dude, in freaking Fortnite, they're running around building shit. The second they see someone, they're putting down walls and building a structure, taking out a rocket launcher, firing in a general direction and getting a kill. Like it's an arcade version from the looks of it. Yeah. And this is coming from someone who, by the way, has never played Fortnite VR. Well, just watched. They look like two different games.
Totally.
I don't know. So I see exactly where you're coming from.
For you, do you think it's like two different rule sets, or not rule sets, but skill sets for each game, or with aiming at the core of both, obviously? But
yeah, definitely two different skill sets. Because like the way I see it is Fortnite's all about mechanics, and PUBG, there are mechanics, but they're much, much simpler. You just move around and that's it, and you shoot.
Yeah.
And the hard part of PUBG is shooting, because the bullet drop, the range that you're shooting at, that's the difficult part. The rest is nothing, right? And in Fortnite, the shooting, the shooting needs work, but they're balancing that, so that's fine. So it's just about building. You could, like, I'm not the best at Fortnite, right? I haven't put that many hours. I've only put maybe like 15 hours max. So I can't say too much about it. But from what I watch, when I watch these really, really good people like Ninja, for example, it doesn't matter how good you are at aiming, doesn't matter how good you are at, shooting whatever weapons, your shotguns, your ARs, you could always 100% outbuild people, no matter what. So you could your mechanics is everything in that game. You could have like subpar aim, not very good, and you could beat someone with insane aim. It's not going to matter. You just outbuild them, outplay them.
There's a myth, TSM myth there was a clip of him building basically in like this fucking insane speed of this giant tower that had a trap at the top and a jump pad at the bottom. If anyone want to check and find that, it was basically like I think it was the end of the game, and where someone like me or Co would sit there and like look at the thing and be like, all right, let's put a wall there and turn over here. This guy builds a wall that's like 6 stories tall and has a trap at the top and a jump pad at the bottom in 15 seconds. Or like, it's insane to watch builders.
Even I've seen
Like
that
those
clip.
cup stackers. You ever
Yes,
seen them?
it's
They're
exactly like that. Was that Cypher? Oh, that's Cypher.
Ridiculous.
That was not Myth. Okay, maybe that'll help search it. But yeah, it's the cup stackers. That's a perfect way to reference that. Maybe this is it. Let's see. Because I want to show this. If people have never seen this before, it is
I haven't even seen this, so I'm curious.
actually insane. Fuck, that's not it. Is this it? Tower 2.0?
By the way, can I just say how much I love your sub notification?
Yeah. Do you know what it
I
is?
think
Can you see it? Because a lot of people have no idea what they're looking at.
It's like a street and a little pigeon walks
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
and it just
yeah.
eats a little bit and then it flies off. It's just totally chill. It's not in the way. It's not like attention grabbing. It's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, people often think it's a UFO, and I'm
Here it
like,
is.
really?
I got it.
UFO? That's what you see? Come on.
We'll
Come
get back to the Shroud gameplay soon. Here's this build thing. It actually was Myth, at least the clip that I was talking about. Watch this guy build this absurd shit. 2 people left.
Who? I'm sorry. Who did you say the streamer was?
TSM_Myth. Watch him build right here. He's fighting a guy that's shooting him, and he's just like, nah, dude, I'm just going to keep building this shit.
Yep, see? Doesn't matter how good your aim is, you just keep building.
Yeah.
Just keep building.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ,
Like,
man.
I wasn't kidding. Look how fast this shit is. Like, they're literally just building a giant tower and fucking each other over to see who can.
I have to admit, though, watching something like this, it's really, really hard to call this a competitive FPS game.
Yeah.
Like
it's
there's
that's
nothing competitive FPS about what we just saw. That was just somebody showing off their incredibly good skills at building. Like that was almost like build VP. Is that even a thing? Like I don't even know. It was seriously like 2 engineers going at it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the beauty of Fortnite. Like, they aren't saying they're competitive. They aren't saying they're going for esports. Meanwhile, PUBG is. All Fortnite's trying to do is just have a casual time, just have a fun experience. That's why no one gives it the same amount of shit as PUBG, because they could do whatever the heck they want to the game and no one's going to complain. But if PUBG changes a little bit of a thing, all right, it's not esports ready. We can't do this.
Yeah. I also wonder, and this is maybe there's no correlation here. I wonder how many like kids that grew up playing Minecraft look at Fortnite and they're like, oh shit, I've played Minecraft for 5 years. Maybe I can apply this to that game and then maybe shoot well enough to get a kill or so. Whereas they look at something like PUBG and it's literally, I don't want to I don't have enough knowledge of the game to put a percentage to it, but a large percentage of the game is just aiming. And it's just knowing kind of how the guns shoot and the recoils, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And much harder in that sense. And this is a question for Shroud. Do you think it's, and I got to be careful how I phrase this, because I don't want to say is PUBG a harder game than Fortnite, but is it it harder to be successful in PUBG than it is in Fortnite, you think? And that might even not be the proper way to phrase that.
That's dangerous, JP.
It's
That's
very dangerous. Yeah. That's why. That's like saying League is easier than Dota just because it looks like Like I don't want to say that stuff.
I would say it's just a completely different skill set, right?
That's still the same.
Because one's totally about mechanics and like reactions, which is Fortnite, where it's all just you're strafing, you're constantly building, and it's really, really quick reactions to what they build and to what you build to counter that build. That's all it is. You're just building on top of each other. Meanwhile, PUBG is all about aim. You can outplay, not really.
You can outmaneuver maybe.
Right? Yeah, you go out to the right a little bit and you shoot them from a different angle. Like, is that really like it's not really outplaying. You just move a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about the aim. And some people really, really struggle with aim. And some people really struggle with mechanics. Some people love aim and they just pick it up immediately. And some people just,
Here's a better
pick
way.
up mechanics immediately.
Here's a better way to maybe phrase that. the skill cap of both games.
Skill cap.
What would you like? Is PUBG the only factor is aiming of that skill cap, and Fortnite is like you got to understand all the fucking mechanics and also be able to fucking shoot people every once in a while.
Yeah. So I always tell people that Fortnite is 100% the harder game, no matter what. I mean, it's just gonna be because it has aiming, as well. So you got that aiming. It might not be bullet drop and all that. It has a little bit of bullet drop when you use snipers and all that, but it's so much harder. There's so many more mechanics to it, so much more movement, everything's so much faster. You know, it's PUBG's slow, you take your time, you hit your shots, and that's it. And when you play in a, you're trying to go really, really serious and you're in a competition, you're in a tournament, you hide in a building. Circle moves, guess what? You go to the circle, you hide in a building. And that's it. That's all you do. And I guess you could do the same in Fortnite, but not really because you could destroy everything.
Right.
Right.
You could shoot a
can you
rocket
really
at
hide
the
in a
bottom
building?
of a tower,
No.
or stuff like that.
Yeah.
The
So you
only thing
can't.
I'll say though, the only thing I'll say to that though, Shroud, is I find it interesting that you'd say that comment about a game that has AoE weaponry. Like those rocket launchers and stuff like that, they take away the aiming component. And they make it so you don't need to be good at FPSs to win.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what I said before. You don't. It's not an FPS really. At that, when I see Fortnite, it's not an FPS. It's just not. It's third person, and it's just like arcadey shooting. It's not a PUBG FPS. But yeah, you're right. But in the long run, once you.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I don't play any of that. Apparently, those are really rare weapons. I'm sorry.
Oh, the rocket launchers are rare?
Yeah, the rocket launcher stuff.
Yeah, rocket launchers and grenade launchers are very rare. Yeah, and on top of that, it's not like sometimes you have an insane amount of shots with it, but most of the time you don't. Right? Most people have more materials to just constantly tank those shots, and in the long run, most fights are won with guns, shotguns, ARs, right? And there is aim there. There definitely is. There's a lot of aim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you still get excited when you win?
If Fortnite went FPS, would you see yourself playing it more?
I keep telling my stream almost every day. I talk about this and I say yes. I would love. People are so scared to see it go FPS, but I don't see why. Just make it another game mode and people will play whatever they want to play. They could just test it for like a week and see if people like it. I think it'd be really weird, right? Because of the constant building, and it'd probably make some people nauseous, honestly, trying to build and looking at first person and flying around.
Yeah.
But I would see myself playing it a lot more as well. It might change the pace of building as well, because right now it's just spam. Everyone spam your buildings, ramps, walls, ramps, walls, ramps, walls. And if you see someone in the distance, build like a little fort, third person peek over it, see everything that's going on. Now, if you do it in first person, it might not be that fast, because how are you going to look around and build all this and just spam everything? It's going to be kind of difficult, right? So I would say it might work, but you never know till you try.
Yeah.
And I don't think they will try, honestly. I don't think that's the direction they want to go with Fortnite, unfortunately.
It's true. It's true. I was asking, do you still not get excited? What does a win mean to you in PUBG? Like, hey, good job?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Is a
nothing.
kill more important than a win?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I win a game and I get, like, let's say I'm playing solos and I win a game and I get 5-6 kills, right? Because of how many stream snipers I have, like 5-6 kills most of the time is right away just guys running at me naked. So if I win a game while I'm streaming with 5 to 6 kills, that was a very, very, very boring game, and I don't care about that win at all. Now, if I win a game with 30 kills, 25, like that's at that point it's kind of worth it. I care more about those kills.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot.
I
who
love
it was.
hearing that. And then when I played PUBG, it's like, yeah, my first win in 3 weeks. Awesome. This is the best.
Yeah, I think that's most people, Co.
And I hit the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think that's most people. What's your percentages, Shroud, on winning? Do you think one out of 3, 1 out of 4? Is it every game? How often?
It depends, because I fuck around a lot.
Yeah,
Like a lot of my a lot of my clips are me just jumping. Where I do backflips. I kill myself on a motorcycle all the time, and
Yeah.
I don't care at all. I'll be at 15 kills. I'll do a backflip. I'll mess it up, and I'll be like, "Fuck yeah, let's go into another game."
Yeah.
I won't be mad about it. Like it's just fun to me. So a lot of my games are losses. I don't think my percentage is that good. I have a decent amount of wins. I think I have like 600. There's people who have more. A lot of people who have more.
Yeah.
You don't
But I
track
also
your
don't
wins
care as much.
in your title? What? What?
Yeah.
Are you even serious about this, Shroud?
Yeah, I don't know. He's
Yeah.
new to streaming. We'll have to talk to him
Yeah.
after the show. Yeah. Do you mentioned stream snipers? And I think it might have been Summit when he was on the show. We talked to him about this. Like, do you think your streams and their entertainment value is heightened? And maybe you don't want to answer this because it's going to just say, "Hey, come stream snipe me." Like, what do you think they contribute to the stream in a positive way? Or is it completely like, don't fucking stream snipe me? Where are you at on that?
Okay, so it kind of depends, right? It depends on the stream sniper, and I guess it kind of depends on me. Recently, I don't want anyone to stream snipe me, so I'm always muted in voice.
Yeah.
But when I didn't really care and I was always open and my voice was always open, I got a lot of those really, really funny stream snipers that kind of made content for me.
Right.
But on top of that, I also got way more people who were trying to kill me. So now I just don't care about anyone. Now I have less stream snipers. I have a couple people who want to kill me, and that's about it.
Okay.
But I honestly hate it. It's so annoying because they're pretty much just cheating, right? They have like a 4-second delay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's it. They're just cheating. They're literally just screen peeking when you're playing like Xbox split screen. That's what they're doing.
It's the old school
Same
Halo
thing.
stuff where people are like, "Hey, where are you at?" Okay.
Exact
Fire
same
rocket
shit.
right there.
It's the same thing. But
Yeah.
people try to argue that it's not, but it's the same thing with a couple seconds. Like that matters. Go slow you move in this game, you know?
Is that kind of the eternal struggle of a PUBG primary streamer, where it's just like fucking stream snipers all day, every day?
Yeah, yeah. But at the same time, it like I said before, it does add some content. So I don't know. It's kind of like a trade-off. Like sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. You just got to take it the right way, and you'll be all right.
Yeah.
It also really depends on the sniper, I'm sure. Like,
Yeah.
there's a difference between like we had a sniper, for instance, named PC 101, and he would, when I played PUBG, he would only come at me without a weapon. That was his thing.
Yeah.
Like he would stream snipe me, but he could never attack me with a weapon. And stuff like that can be fun and entertaining. And the 10th time he's, ran at you and you're in an epic duel and this naked guy runs out of nowhere and he starts punching you while you're shooting a dude. That stuff can be hilarious. That's a cool kind of stream sniping. But then you have the people that are out to ruin your experience. They're out to kill you, to get a reaction, a rise out of you. And it's almost like there's different classes within stream snipers. And if you get the right one, it can be great. But man, if you get a couple of those PvP stream snipers, it's a little dangerous.
Yeah.
I've had some just crazy, like just insane try hard stream snipers where, I mean, it's pretty obvious where you could tell which direction someone's going. So like, if you spawn in one corner of the map, there's only a couple car spawns, and if they know the game well enough, they know that I have to go to that car spawn.
Right.
And I've had people just sit behind a rock. I jump in the car, dead. Not a chance. Not a chance.
Yeah, they're just sitting there.
I personally don't mind stream snipers. It just sucks when they do that. When I literally they try so hard and they line up everything perfectly, and then I don't have a chance at all. If I got a chance and I get a couple shots off and I die to them, whatever. I should have won that fight.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's when the stream sniping becomes trolling. That's when it kind of gets a little bit next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite snipers that I've seen on a bunch of the other streams, Tim has a sniper. Tim the Tatman has a sniper that in Fortnite will spell his name, Tim, up in the sky with the build stuff, and it's like literally the size of like 3 buildings. And it just says Tim up in the air. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. And every time it happens, he's like, "Hey, it's that guy again. Let's go over there and see what's up." And then that type of stuff is cool because it's not.
Yeah.
He's not fucking with you too much. It's a thing that exists in the game. You can go over and look at it and get a laugh, etc. He's not sitting there just trying to ruin your experience and try to get a shout out on stream from you just getting angry. So, it's one of those things where I'm glad that the majority of the stuff that I play is single player, because stream snipers, like perfect example, It's not an FPS game, but I was playing WoW the other day, and I'm on a PvP server, and I just start getting camped by someone that's watching the stream, and I got so fucking furious in such a short amount of time because it hasn't happened in so long, and I was just like, Jesus, I really hate this shit. And I left. I just fucking locked. So I can't imagine dealing with it on the frequency that you do. It would drive me insane. Would drive me insane.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of used to it at this point.
I guess so. Yeah, when it's day in day out.
Well, I mean, the only thing that I can say to relate to that is you have to take it when you're streaming. Like when you're playing a game, like I was saying with Slay the Spire earlier, stream snipers are a thing. Backseating, like people telling you how to play the game because they know best. I mean, it's just something you have to like fucking deal with because it's never gonna stop. You can guide them and say like, hey, I don't fucking like that. But a lot of times they're gonna be like, oh, you don't like that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, just twist it. Just twist it exactly. Yeah, you can't give them too much. Yeah.
Yeah. Any designs on Tarkov? Have you checked that out?
Oh yeah, good
Tarkov,
question.
I've played a lot of Tarkov. Yeah. I recently I can't play it because it's gotten pretty big. It's gotten like not mainstream, but it's getting there. Like a lot of people are starting to notice it now, and that's such a small dev team that they just can't handle it right now. So it's going to take some more time for all their servers to be upgraded and their game to be upgraded. You have very, very low FPS, and since the game is so reliant on loot, luckily I'm fortunate enough to have the press kit, which is just getting every single gun in the game. You just get everything, just stacks on stacks. You'll never run out. That's all you do. You just get guns and you kill people. But now if you're someone that bought the game and you don't have this press kit, it's very, very frustrating because you might only have like 3 good weapons and you lose a good weapon to just the server dying or something. You know, that's what makes it so difficult. The game is great. It just needs to get past that. I don't know how long that's going to take.
Tell me something. When you played, what was the carrot on the stick that kept you playing? Like, from what I understood, we talked to Sacril, who also put a lot of time in, and he said one of the big things that kept him going was kind of getting more guns and making sure he always had enough equipment. When you had all the equipment, was the game fun enough to just kind of carry its own, or did you have something else that you were going with?
Yeah, so the game was fun enough because the combat was fun. I was pretty much just there to fight other people. And just try to learn how to do it. But I was telling my stream that I was going to do a fresh run. Like all these streamers have press kits as well. Like Sacril has one, but most of them just get rid of it. They get rid of all the stuff and they just start with like just the basic equipment.
Right.
So what I was basically doing is I was just trying to, I didn't play it long, maybe an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours max a day. So I was just trying to have a good time, just like learn the game, learn all the different guns, learn all the different armors, all the ammo types. There's just endless amounts of items. So I was trying to learn it all and just have a good time fighting people until I'm ready to start playing for loot. Because, yeah, that's the main reason people play that game is to just be, a hoarder, hoard all that loot, right? When you have it all, you're right, there's kind of no purpose to it, which is partially the reason why I'm also not playing besides all the netcode related things.
Cool.
Do you always start your streams with PUBG, by the way? Because it's fucking possible to find you play any other game in your VODs. Because everything's like PUBG. And your name is just like, we back, wow. E-T-T. I'm just saying. Be more considerate when you're on the show, Shroud. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yes, okay. So.
Dude, you start every day?
Yeah, every single day I start it with at least like an hour to 2 hours of PUBG, sometimes 3, sometimes 6. My chat, they like to hear this a lot. When I say soon, I'm going to play a different game soon.
Yeah.
Now soon could be an hour, could be 8 hours. It's usually like 8 hours. I usually just jump on PUBG like, yeah, I'll play, Oblivion in an hour, and I don't end up playing at all. I just don't. Soon. It's just what they always hear. So I don't know. The most recent game I played that was different than PUBG was I GTA RP'd in my last stream.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw you last night.
Yeah, and then the day before that was when I was playing a little Fortnite. But besides that, yeah, just PUBG.
How's
Hey, little birdie told me we're going to be trying KCD soon. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. That was all you. I was just listening and I was like, God, you're just. Oh, I was just sitting there on the cart, just purchase for myself, just floating the whole time, and then you just kept talking. I was like, all right, I'm doing it. I'm buying it.
Yeah, you just
I
just
do
got
wanna-
influenced. Is what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
I
right.
just-
I hope the devs heard that.
Yeah. He's gonna get a kickback. Yeah. Exactly.
I gotta remember to add that to my business cards. I gotta add influencer.
Yeah.
I put that on all my index cards. Actually, I'm gonna put influencer bigger than my actual name on there.
Yeah.
They're gonna think my name is influencer.
ACD, I will definitely drop in and watch that. Like that sounds a lot of fun, especially from someone who appreciated it.
He's gonna do amazing with the bow. Like you're not even ready for his bow work. You just gotta watch the stream.
I'm almost not looking forward to seeing Shroud with the bow.
Yeah.
Because here I am, like shooting. Literally, there's a bunny in front of me, and I have 8 arrows in, and it's just like an outline. I'm drawing around him, and I can just see when Shroud's gonna come up and just be like, "Oh, headshot, man!" And these bows are too easy.
Well, you also play with a controller, right? So that's the problem.
Not with the bow. No, I don't have that excuse.
He
No.
uses a mouse and keyboard.
All right, my bad.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah. You can't
Thanks,
save
though.
him,
I
Shroud.
appreciate the try. It was a good effort.
You can't save him at all.
It's another game that has been making the rounds. I don't know if you have you picked up Hunt Showdown.
Oh yeah, yeah. I put a lot of hours into Hunt, definitely.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
What do you think, man?
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts.
Besides it having terrible frames, it's a lot of fun. It's like Tarkov. It's got that Tarkov like. You found footage?
Yes,
oh my
I did
God.
it. I did it. We can talk about this game. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah,
Didn't mean to interrupt.
So it's awesome. It has that similar feel to EFT where you jump into like a raid or a mission and you have to extract with better loot. But this game has like a much cooler element to it because it has characters. And eventually, like if you saw their roadmap, they plan to have like specific missions for higher level hunters, right? Yeah. In EFT, you just get guns and you collect guns and you lose those guns if you die. Here, you lose your whole hunter and you put a lot of time into that hunter because you do constant missions. You level them up. You get more HP. You get more traits, and you get more weapons. So there's so much more to it, right? So the way I see it is, it's just like. It's almost like a better Tarkov to me, which I might insult some people saying that because
Yeah,
really
you might just
enjoyed me
piss
playing
off some
Tarkov.
people there.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. If they can fix the frames, it's gonna be incredible.
I watched. I think it might have been like the first or second day of the game. It's where you were playing duos with Summit or something like that, or you guys were grouped.
Uh-huh.
And
That was the first day.
yeah, Lyric and Shorty were in the same game as you, and there was a little bit of a fight between the two. And it's always funny when that happens to streamers with like 20, 30,000 viewers because, you know, you're at 45K and Lyric's at like 37. And then someone in chat goes, "Hey, that's Shroud." And you see these viewership just kind of start going up like that on Lyric stream. And then you see your viewership go up a little bit. And it gets like 50, 60,000. And then someone dies. And then it's just like plummets. And everyone normalizes after like this 5-minute thing. And that's really cool to watch. And it's also got to be really cool to play that, right? To play against other streamers like that. I'm sure that ups the interest of what's occurring and like the pressure of doing well. And point of note, or I think you lost that fight. I think you ended up losing to Lyric there, or maybe Shorty hit some shots or something like that. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I remember that whole fight. I remember exactly where it was. It's in my brain forever. I'm very disappointed in myself.
I'm so sorry to bring this up. All right, look, it's not the point. I'm sorry.
But I mean, that was I think my second game. Both me and Summit's second game. They already had like a couple more games than us.
Okay.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't very familiar. I didn't know which ones were good.
Yeah.
There's okay. All right, relax for a second. Okay.
I thought you never got triggered, Shroud. I thought you were just cool, calm, and collected. But
no, it's cool. I'm keeping track of the excuses. Keep them coming.
I get that. Like, no, I understand that. Like, I'm not good at many things, but there's a couple of things that I'm kind of pretty good at that I consider myself like I'll win most of the time if I play like Use Your Words or something, and because I consider myself pretty funny, and when I lose, God, it fucking burns me because I'm like I'm better than you at this.
Yeah.
How dare you even compete?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How dare you make a mockery of my skill?
You started kind of branching out, and we've been talking about other games you've been playing. You still start stream with PUBG every day, but can you envision a day, you know, a year or two from now where that's not a thing and you're starting your stream with something else? Or will it kind of always be in your wheelhouse of games? Can people always count on the PUBG gameplay?
I mean, okay, it's tough for me because everyone knows me as the first person shooter guy.
Right,
You know,
right.
'cause
The
of my
XC9 or
background.
the X
Yeah,
CS
exactly. I'm just an FPS pro. So everyone, my channel is all about FPS games. But in reality, I'm actually a very, very, very big gamer. I love all sorts of games. I mean, I was RPing yesterday. Like, just I love everything. I'm gonna play Kingdom Come Deliverance now. And people, I don't know if when I play those games, people just get so upset for whatever reason. So like that kind of impacts me a little bit
Yeah.
on it. I think I would like to in the future. Like I would love to be someone like Lyric. Lyric, I'm actually jealous of what he has. He's able to just jump on any game and people just love it.
And
There's no one's
it's so
no
funny
one's
you'd
talking
say
shit
that
about that.
because Lyric has been like, I'm so jealous of Dan or Co because Lyric for the longest time was kind of like the Arma guy, and he'd be like,
Yeah.
"Fuck, I'm so tired of playing Arma. I just want to be able to play anything. Like literally, Dan and Co can play whatever the fuck they want, and there's going to be an audience there, and they're not going to have their. And maybe I'm wrong, Co. Feel free to correct me, but they're not going to be
No,
like.
I pay all my.
Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, you pay all your views. Great. Yeah, but the amount of complaining's not there. So it's, I think that's definitely something that streamers are more cognizant of lately. Is they don't want to become that guy. They don't want to become known for X because they want to be able to have like the
Yeah.
variety, right? And
Yeah, variety's always good.
I wonder what that's going to happen or what that's going to be like, you know, a year or two from now. If you're still going to be like, all right, let's play some fucking PUBG. Let's just get in there and get
By
this
the
done
way,
with.
I totally heard what you said earlier. Can you elaborate on a bit that you said you were RPing yesterday?
He's doing GTA.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, I
You
want to get to
understand
that.
that?
I'll show the gameplay. Yeah, go ahead, Shroud. Talk about it. What
So
were you
what
RPing?
do you do when you play those games? Is that like do you because that's really interesting. I mean, I would think that someone with your skill level would like be like bleeding FPSs essentially. But what do you think of RPing? How do you approach that? Is that like a break from what you normally do, or is this like a passion of yours? Like how do you go about that? What did you do when you did it?
Okay, so it's GTA 5 RP, right? And I would say 4 or 5 years ago, there was something called SAMP, which is San Andreas multiplayer. Back then, there was a lot of RP that was happening, 500 player RP. It was all text. So I loved that. I loved text RP. I was really into it. I played it for so long. But yesterday or 2 days ago or whenever that was the first time I ever did voice RP. So I'm still kind of getting into it because it's very, very different just being able to just be a keyboard warrior essentially and actually using your voice, right? So like I could with ease I could talk like a thug through text easily.
Sure.
Doing that in voice is still something that I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to pick it up. I'm not.
Are you saying we should unmute right now and see how your thug
Acting!
voice?
Oh yeah.
So basically how I started off, like when people watched the stream that I did there was I was pretty much just talking as myself.
Yeah.
But as I keep going, I'm gonna slowly try to get a little more into it. Maybe eventually you can make more characters. So if you want to change your character, you don't like the direction this character is going, you make another one, right?
Sure.
There is a maximum of only 32 people in this RP server currently. They plan to expand it, but it's a lot of fun. I just play the character of just straight up criminal and robbing banks, selling meth. That's
Nice.
all I'm doing, and
Nice.
I'm trying to just get into cop chases. I'm trying to get into gunfights because that's my my inner FPS. I'm trying to fight. I'm trying to have a lot of action.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get caught, results in a lot of jail time.
Right. I don't have any personal interest or investment at all in this. Have you played D&D before?
I was gonna wait to broach that subject, JP. But
I had a
if you
whole
wanted to
setup.
jump right in.
No, I knew. I saw it in all three of your eyes. I'm just like, I'm going to be the one to ask this motherfucker.
So I tried D&D when I was younger.
Yeah.
At the same time, 4 or 5 years ago, I tried it. It wasn't really my thing, but maybe that's just because of the people I was playing with. I'm not sure. I haven't tried D&D since. I always watch Critical Role.
Yes.
I try to keep up. It's very long episodes, so it's kind of hard with how much I stream. But
Yeah.
I try to keep up with it, and I love watching it. But I haven't played in a very, very long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
just gonna
interested how
throw
you
this out there.
go. I'm
just gonna
interested
throw
how
this
Co
out
and
there.
Zeke were going to say it though. So do your. Have you played D&D?
Well, I was gonna segue into it kind
Okay.
of sensually, but since we just kind of went into it, we're gonna go from there. This is what I will say: the first D&D I ever did, was on Twitch, and I have to say it's a magical thing doing D&D on Twitch, especially if you do it around people you're comfortable with and familiar with. So if you're ever interested, you should talk to this guy over here because it's a lot of fun, and he has special guests on all the time. And it's cool.
I need to know the bit.
Add more time. I'd be bugging him a lot more than I have been. For sure.
Yeah.
And honestly, so many people do their first times on Twitch, and a lot of them I have been there for with JP and Roleplay. It's very friendly, very, very open. Like, I really, really want to sell you on this because I think that like anybody who's done it, there's no in between ground. It's like either not for me or I want to kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always weird. I've been talking to Lyric about it for probably 2 years, and I don't know what the thing is to like push him overboard to be like, hey, you should finally just play D&D. Because I feel like people that enjoy RP and see GTA stuff and get involved in that world, it's like, what if you just took away the idea that you're playing a game, like an actual video game, and it was all in your head and you could do literally whatever the fuck you wanted. And some people are like, nah, I'm not into that. That's not my jam. I like being in a game world like this. So some people just they're not into it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was weirded out the first few times we did it, man. I mean, thanks to this guy over here, Zeke. I mean, like that was one of the first big things we did was West Marches when I eventually ended up carrying around Zeke's head in a bag on my belt. But that was, I mean, it's definitely a little weird at first, especially if you're new. But man, once the ball gets rolling, once it all starts clicking, once you kind of know the other people you're playing with, it becomes something you look forward to the second it's done. Like you're just like, oh, can't wait for next week.
Yeah, what JP said, I'm a little bit like that too, in the sense that it's odd. I'd like to feel like I'm actually playing and doing something, right? And maybe that's the reason why some other people might not want to do it, is because a lot of their viewers would love to actually see something happen as well. I could almost guarantee you, nobody in my stream would probably want to watch me do something like that, because
You'd be surprised.
they want. Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
maybe,
you would lose a lot of obviously the hardcore FPS purists and stuff, but there's something I think that, and not this isn't speaking to D&D, but really, anytime a streamer goes out of their element and plays something that they aren't known for, there's definitely like an interest spike for that first hour or 2 hours of them getting into whatever it is. After that, usually they don't stick around, but there's definitely like an interest spike in seeing other people play things that they're just not normally playing, which is kind of the cool thing of Twitch, right? Like at the end of the day, there will always be an audience for almost anything on this platform, as long as the people that are playing it are entertaining or are good or have fill some sort of checkbox for whoever wants to watch that type of content. So it's a weird thing for sure.
Yeah, I think the big one, kind of backtracking on it, is the subs when you do something like that. So like I was saying I plan to eventually, like I would eventually try to be something like Lyric, where I just like jump on, all right, we're playing Kingdom Come Deliverance today, and that's all we do. We're playing Witcher 3 tomorrow. I played 30 hours of Witcher 3. I never finished it. I kind of wish I did, but that was because of competing and all that. So I just kind of got lost with it. But a big part in that is like, eventually, like when you do something like that, you're just gonna have to accept that you won't have at the same amount of subs, because a lot of people subscribe to you for that one game that you play, and once you're gone from it, they're also going to be gone.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a hard reality with variety. and that happens
Yeah.
game to game based on it. It's kind of interesting though, because once you dip into that world for a few months, it starts to become the routine, and once it hits routine, it becomes so much easier. It's a rough few months though, I'm going to be honest, because I used to be an MMO streamer. So I would stream MMOs and build up these giant communities, multi-thousand subs, but then I'd leave the MMO. And when you leave an MMO,
Yeah.
like a good percentage of your community stays there while you leave. And you just, every single day, you're down 3+ digits of subs every single day for a month plus. But it just gets to the point where after your 4th or 5th MMO, you're just like, oh, cool, I'm ready for this.
Right.
Like I know it's coming. I'll just focus on the Delta and be good to go.
And
but man, it's a little bit of a hump to get over.
Yeah, it goes back to what we were talking about at the start, right? Like being comfortable with the amount of subs, which that's probably one of the most important lessons I think I've learned this past year, even as recent as that, where it's like you just got to be comfortable with a certain number and not worry about growth literally every second of the day. And just looking at that viewer count or looking at that sub count or looking at whatever count you look at constantly. It's just like, hey, let's just play a game.
The big thing is, man, it's exacerbated life.
Yeah.
I mean, if you learn to appreciate what you have in life and not what you could have, or more importantly, what you don't have, then it doesn't matter what you have. If you learn how to appreciate, it doesn't matter what you have because you're always content.
Sure.
And the problem is streaming exacerbates that feature in us. So if you're a kind of person like me, who is one of those people that worries about more what they don't have, what they have, which is a terrible thing, sub numbers just take that little personal issue and multiply it by a factor of 10. So it can be really rough, especially when you tie your life to a single number.
Yeah.
In terms of successfulness and stuff. I mean, it's a tough lesson to have to get over.
Totally.
A lot of times.
And again, I think a very large majority of streamers do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big reason why everyone does that, or a lot of streamers do that, is because like you're not sure how long it will last, right?
Totally.
So you want to try to make as much money as you can before it all goes away.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
But on the most quality shows, in as long as you've got, ride the wave, man. You just ride the wave as long as the wave is there.
I'm always wondering like what's going to be because I think I can already see it in terms of how old I am and how old someone like Ko is. Although Ko, how old are you? Are you older than me?
I'm 34.
Okay, you're a little older than me. I think
light 30s.
And Zeke as well. I think the three of us can definitely see a difference in audience from us compared to a younger audience, just like Shroud is a younger guy on his stream. Yeah. So I'm always wondering like what's going to be that age where no one tunes in? Like, is Twitch gonna die, or am I gonna get too old first? Like, where's gonna be the stopping?
Well, you say that though. You say that though, but here's a beautiful thing, JP, that a lot of people don't remember. Our generation, the mid-30s, we're the generation that grew up with computers. We're the generation that grew up with gaming.
Sure.
So unlike our parents and unlike people older than us that don't have a generational connection to gaming, we always will, which is why, by the way, you should sign up for Co-Carnage Retirement Homes. Full gaming and laptop all the time, every game available to you, inter-networked retirement home community tournaments.
It's not the first time he's pitched
One
this
price
idea, by the way.
One computer and all consoles and every game you could ever want.
Yeah, it's not the first time he's pitched this idea, believe us.
No,
anyway,
I'm
my
fucking
point is
fully.
Yeah, it's good. We have some positives that people older than us don't have. So it's going to be interesting. When we're 70-year-olds, there's going to be 70-year-old gamers. There's not 70-year-old gamers right now.
Man,
but as we get older, that line is going to raise with us, unlike in the past. So we can't look into the future and see, oh, there's people that are 70, 80 years old that are still playing video games, because they don't exist. Because video games didn't exist for people who were 70 and 80 years old.
Yeah.
But they will for us. So we're going to be the kind of people that when we turn 70, it's going to be like, awesome, retirement. Now I can play video games all day.
I can't wait for the games that are geared
never been the
towards
past.
70 years old. Like I want this, like the games that are geared towards 70-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like when I'm 70, it's like, this is for a 70-year-old or above audience.
Pharmacy
In this
simulator.
game, you sit on a bench in the park and feed pigeons.
Yeah, exactly. It's pharmacy simulator.
To feed pigeon. I would sit there all day.
Like,
It'd be great.
As far as being a streamer goes, I kind of view it as being like a singer, an actor, or a dancer, like there might be a shelf life for me.
Yeah.
There might be a shelf life to how long I'm popular and how long I'm relatable to this Twitch audience. And I'm wondering if it will grow up with me or they will grow out of me, you know? And I'm that's why I'm like sucking retirement money away. I've got like, you know, savings and investments and shit like that. Like, God damn it. That's what worries me more than anything else is not necessarily my sub number fluctuation or viewer fluctuation. It's the fact that I might get too old for this fucking job.
Yeah.
And see, my argument, Zeke, is that your audience will be growing old with you. So
I hope so. I really hope so.
Yeah, we'll see which one wins out. I don't know.
Speaking of, I had this question I wanted to ask you, Shroud. Since you know you're making quite a good amount of money, what is the biggest frivolous purchase you've made?
Uh-oh.
Not something putting in like not a house or a car or something like that, but something you're like, this probably is way more expensive, but I just want it.
Shit.
Just out of curiosity. I mean, if you don't feel comfortable answering, that's fine.
I like how he looked around his room first. What did I pick?
Yeah, let me go.
Like
he's on that wiping ass with lobster level, Zeke. He's on that. As you mentioned once upon a time.
That's an inside joke, by the way.
Yeah,
I said that once.
I guess I'm kind of reckless with computer parts. I just like,
Okay.
hey, a new video card. It's not much better. It's mine, and I just like $3,000. Sure, I'll buy that. You know, like
Yeah.
for example, the Titan V. I didn't buy it. I was lucky enough, and I got it gifted to me. But just I knew a Titan V was coming for me. I bought a 1080 Ti to use it for a day. Didn't have to, but I did. So that's like a good example. But it's nothing like crazy amount of hundreds of thousands of dollars. No,
Yeah.
most of like I would say 70% of what I earn just goes straight into investments.
No, okay.
It's a way to do it.
Are you a collector of anything? Do you have like art or toys or something like that? Like collectibles?
I mean, that would be computers. I have like 8 computers in my house. I just because I'm constantly upgrading. Every time a new generation of CPUs, boom, I want it. I just buy it. I enjoy it.
Are you on a 2 PC setup or are you 1 PC?
Yes, 2.
You're 2? Okay. I wasn't sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's always the fun thing of like, well, let's get a new computer. Then my gaming computer will become the streaming computer. Then that other computer will become, I don't know,
I was gonna say,
paperweight.
of all the ways to frivolously spend your money, I mean, you're doing it in the one way that will dramatically impact your job in a positive way. So I'd say that's a damn good way to spend your extra money.
Especially because it's a write-off. So,
Yeah, I'm married, so my extra money goes to horses.
Nice.
What am I going to do with horses?
How much does a horse cost? Co, what does a horse cost? If I just wanted to buy a horse, what are we talking here?
Short answer.
Too much?
It costs more per month for a horse than a car.
Not per month.
That includes repairs and gas.
I literally just want to buy a horse, not talking monthly. What are we talking here? I have no idea what this is.
That's the thing. You don't talk about a horse in terms of buying because you have to keep it, and keeping it's the expensive part.
Okay.
You got to board it, you got to feed it, you got to medicate it, you got to do all that stuff. It's insane.
Okay.
It's absolutely insane. It blow your mind, JP. Just saying.
I'm gonna.
No, of course, I love our horses. But yeah,
Nice
it's,
save.
it's. I got to admit, I wish my wife was into computer parts. That'd be awesome.
Shroud, we're getting close to running out of time here. Zeke, go ahead and ask your question. Then I have one final one.
Just I think it's something that's for the fans. Like, I would like you to say like if there's something that most people that watch you might not know about you.
I mean, I'm pretty open to talk about honestly anything on my stream. So I'm just trying to think of something that I didn't say. That's honestly a tough question because I don't know.
Do you have any guilty pleasures or anything like that? Like, no things like
What type of drugs have you done, Shroud? Let's just go down the list.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about illegal shit. I'm talking about like
when and where did you snort cocaine?
Shut up. Guilty pleasures. Like, I think Hanson's album, The Middle of Nowhere, is a fucking masterpiece.
Okay.
Like that kind of shit.
Slow down. Zeke.
It's a masterpiece. It was written by it was mixed by the Dust Brothers. It was really good.
Because like the way my life works right now is it's so, I mean, it's just like a repeat the same thing. It's very simple. I wake up, I stream, or I wake up, I shower, I stream, and then I sleep, and just do it all over again. So I just like I don't have any guilty pleasures because that's such kind of like all I'm doing. You know, I don't. It's kind of weird. I haven't gotten around to checking out other things, doing things. Just you know what I mean?
Sure.
Here's one. Here's one.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Hopefully in the same exact position, doing the
Good
same
answer.
exact thing.
Good answer.
Good
That's
answer.
it.
Here's a question. Have you ever actually downloaded hacks for CS and used them?
I think when I was about. No. This is fine. I mean, everyone's done it. I feel like.
Yeah,
I feel
no,
like
that's what I'm saying.
everyone's done it.
It's probably
Well,
pretty common.
But here's where I'm better than most people. Okay.
Okay.
So yes, I used aimbot speed hacks in 1.5.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Or 1.6, somewhere around there. But I was really young. But I did it on non-vac secure servers.
Nice.
So it was cheaters versus cheaters. That's it. I've never cheated against anyone that's legit. I just went non-vac servers and just had a cheat fest.
So you cheated to have fun killing other cheaters.
Yeah, I never ever wanted to take a chance to do it in secure servers.
Yeah.
Just
Were you the
wasn't worth it.
best cheater? Were you on top of those scoreboards?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. Not. These guys are paying a high dollar for their cheats.
For their,
It's
for their
crazy.
cheats, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. The final question I have, and this might be one of those questions you won't answer, but why are you still with Cloud9?
Why or am?
Are you like it's still a part of your branding on your stream? Like, is there a day where you will leave Cloud9 where you're no longer representing them? Because you don't really need them from my perspective. Maybe you do. I have no idea what they provide for you, etc. But
Currently, yes, I'm still with Cloud9. Where I'm going, I haven't shared with anyone. I will share it very, very soon.
okay,
Very soon, within the next few months.
cool,
Yeah.
cool. All right.
Good. Great answer.
Yeah, Ko or Zeke, you guys got any final questions here for Shroud before we wrap up the show?
No, this has been awesome, man. I love taking streamers that a lot of people see as like one-dimensional, like they play one game all the time, and adding all these like other really fun. I would have never guessed you RP. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait to look at that. I didn't know you knew like KCD. That's fantastic. I can't wait to watch you stream it. Like that's really cool.
I immediately glommed onto that when I was looking through your highlights before the stream. It was like, let's get a little bit more familiar. Let's see what and I went, oh, ERPs. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, you got one new follower.
Voice.
So that's cool, man.
Voice.
It's really cool.
Voice RP is a little fresh, but yeah.
Trying to find Twitch broke their VOD selection system. I'm trying to go all the way to your very first VOD. I usually do this for people that have been streaming for a while, but it seems you're on the special selection where you probably have your VOD from 5 or 6 years ago, don't you?
So what happened was I kind of lost some of my VODs. They did this thing where they started deleting them. I wasn't partnered at the time or something. They started deleting them. So I lost a lot of my VODs. But then when I got partnered, I messaged them immediately. I was like, hey, can I get those VODs retrieved?
Yeah.
And they retrieved what they could, basically. So I don't know if I'm missing a lot of good VODs. I did a 50-hour Defiance launch stream, and I streamed to nobody, but I did it. I streamed for 50 hours.
You and Ko just
Wait,
became best
did I hear
friends.
that right?
Defiance.
Defiance? The RP,
Yes.
the MMO?
Yes.
Bro,
Yes.
that was the first game I ever streamed on Twitch.
Yeah.
That's when you started streaming?
Oh, I started before that. I streamed for a while, but I just had no viewers.
All right.
Wow.
I'm in July
Yeah.
2013. We're gonna try to go deeper here. See if we can try to find this. Oh, that's the last. July 16th, 2013. When was your account created? Do you remember? Let's see.
2013 maybe?
I'll
think.
tell you right now. It was created
2012,
in
I don't know.
2012, November
2012.
3rd, 2012.
Yeah.
This is your first stream. And I think it's
It's
very
Daisy
fitting.
mod.
Yeah, it's
It's
very
Daisy
fitting.
mod,
Of course
isn't it?
it's Daisy mod. Of course it is.
Yeah.
It's very fitting that it would be. Also, that jitter is
Mouse.
not the stream. That's Daisy. That's literally
Oh my
the game.
god, look at this game.
Yeah.
Yep.
When did you put a
year
camera on
was
your
this?
stream? I think it's
1971.
Yeah, let me see. It is 5 years ago.
Oh my god.
I don't know the actual
5
date for
years
it.
ago. Jesus.
Yeah. When did you put a webcam on
Yeah.
your stream? Was that recent? Was that PUBG or before that?
No. I would say I put my webcam on when I started getting like 50 to 100 viewers. So maybe like a year and a half after I was doing this.
Yeah.
Probably.
I,
Yeah.
I wonder where Eclipse Gaming is these days.
Oh yeah, that's right. Everything's branded Eclipse
That's
Gaming.
actually a lot of people don't know. That's partially why I changed my name to Shroud. Is because Eclipse Gaming. This whole thing. This was a Counter-Strike team that, like I said, I was competing in like very very small divisions, like grinding the ladder essentially.
Yeah.
This was like a small like org. Obviously had no reputation at all, just a name. And my name was Eclipse when I was playing. My channel back then, when you're watching this VOD right here, my channel was called M Eclipse.
Yeah.
Right. And
Oh.
it was M Eclipse in Eclipse Gaming. And I said, screw this, I'm changing this name. Too many people know the name Eclipse. It's way too common. I'm changing it. And then I looked up synonyms of Eclipse. I found a whole bunch, and Shroud was the one that I picked.
Yeah. I remember all that.
Cool.
Good times. That's the end of the VOD. And I think that is going to be the end of the show. So let's do some shout outs here. We'll go around with Zeke and Code. Shroud, you'll be the last. Zeke, why don't you start us off with some shout outs, sir?
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and thank you to Shroud for being on the show. I always like it when there's someone on the show that is a master or an expert at something that I am not, and it's very interesting to sit back and listen to opinions and stories and whatnot. So thank you for coming on the show, Shroud. Thank you to Co and JP as well, always for being my favorite co-hosts. And I will be streaming after this. Probably top of the next hour, so like 55 minutes from now, we'll be jumping back into Yakuza 0 as my last stream, because I'm leaving tomorrow to go to San Antonio to play Dungeons and Dragons live with JP on a table with real dice with Gassy Mexican and Dan's Gaming and Adam Coble. So follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, all the same, Ezekiel_I. And that's it.
All right. See you soon, Zeke. I got those monsters for you, the sugar-free ones that you like.
Hey, thanks.
Go do some shout-outs for us.
Absolutely. Well, I echo exactly what Zeke just said. It's always great to get someone on the show that is basically at the top of their field. And big thank you to Shroud for being here. And as always, a big thank you to JP and Zeke as well. Couldn't ask for better co-hosts. This show is the highlight, one of the highlights of my week. Anyway, my name is Co. Hi, I stream every day at 8 a.m. EST, currently on a streak of 1,584 days. Tomorrow will be 1,585, and I hope you're there for it. Starting at 8 a.m. EST, we'll be playing KCD. Tomorrow's a half day, but Friday we'll be doing KCD and Persona 5, return to that, and then after Persona 5, Yakuza. And a little side thing here, I very, very rarely, like 1 out of 1,000, stream after drop frames, but today I'm actually streaming the second this show is done. We're going to get in a little bit, a couple more hours of Kingdom Come Deliverance before tomorrow. So if you need something to watch after the show, you know where to find me. And after that, we'll probably raid Zeke, let's be honest. So anyway, thank you all as always for watching, and hope to see you guys next week.
Awesome stuff. Yeah. Next week will actually be the final drop frames from this house. So I don't know. I won't do anything special for that, but I'm going through that moment of like, this is the last time I'm going to be at this grocery store, probably ever. I'm moving to St. Louis. I've been in Texas my entire life, so it's actually a big deal for me. Anyways, Shroud, do some shout-outs so we can get the fuck out of here, and you can go stream.
How'd you know I was going to stream it after? All right, you guys just totally one-up me here. I'm very simple when it comes to how I end my stream, how I thank my viewers and all that. So if you don't know me, I'm the FPS guy, Shroud, C9 Shroud. Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. It's the first time I've talked to, I think, all of you guys. I don't think I've ever actually, talked to you guys. So thank you for having me. And yeah, I'm going to stream as well right after this ends. So you can check me out, twitch.tv/Shroud. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Good stuff. All right, that's going to do it, guys. Thanks, everyone, for watching Drop Frames. We will be back next week, every Wednesday at 1 o'clock Eastern. Good luck on y'all streams, gentlemen. I'm going to go and not stream. So we'll see you guys next time. And thanks again, Shroud, for coming on. We're out.
Yeah, thank you guys.
See you next time. Bye-bye.